I think the American people and actually the courts are going to actually give a pretty wide berth to assertions of emergency power on border security and immigration. There was, and see, because there's in a way, there's a kind of an implicit contract. Is if you don't want a state of exception, then you have to show that the ordinary government is at least minimally adequate, or else people will turn to a state of exception. And there was a sense that ordinary government, when it came to controlling the border and managing the immigration problem, had broken down. You could have an argument whether that was right or wrong, but that was a widespread view, and a lot of people who voted for President Trump voted for him to fix that. So he can authentically claim, I don't think that he can authentically claim a huge public mandate to do tariffs. I think he can claim a pretty broad public mandate to use all the powers he could possibly use to manage the border and address the immigration problem. He's doing that, and I think the courts in general are being pretty deferential. For instance, I think a recent decision, in my view, a correct decision, not to interfere with the way they're screening and picking people up in California, while that case is still pending on appeal. So I'm cutting. You can try to cut a certain degree of slack where, people do want authority exercised by the person they elected, and elections matter. I want to cut a little bit of slack to the argument the administration makes, because if you don't recognize that there is something to what they're saying on that, you damage your credibility when you say, yeah, but you've gone too far on these 8 other things.
Philip, does that, in your view, extend to the use of the Alien and Sedition Act for the purposes of immigration and enforcement, and arguing that, in fact, unrestricted immigration is, in effect, an invasion of the United States?
No, in my view, but other lawyers may disagree, I think that it's legally incorrect and historically incorrect to run the Alien and Sedition Act as extending these extraordinary powers in this way. And I think that particular argument is not doing very well in the courts at the moment. Right. And I think that's an overreach.